All right. Somebody's got to have a good question this week.
We'll see what I can do. How, how much would you maybe like to get Zalance Hurd, first team reps in particular, this week, if at all, and see what he can do after testing that out in the preseason?
Yeah, I think the plan is to get him in, certainly, with the first unit, and see how that mix goes as well. And look, I think part of it was, to take an offensive tackle going against Florida State's defensive ends didn't seem to be the smartest thing to do in week one. But, I think in week two, I think this is a good opportunity to get him in and give him an opportunity to play a little bit. So excited about getting a chance to see him play.
Hey, Coach, would you like to play some more wide receivers this week? Chris Hilton, maybe Shelton Sampson, some of those guys?
I think Chris has deserved the opportunity to play some more regardless. If we're playing, and Grambling is going to present a great challenge for us. I think Chris, and again, regardless of the competition, regardless of who we were playing, Chris is, he's put himself in a position in the way he's practiced to get more reps. So Chris is going to be in the mix and getting out there. He's shown enough to me in the way he's handled himself that he deserves to get in there. Sheldon's still learning. It's still a process with him, and he's getting there. And look, there's a lot of freshmen that travel for us and we took them on this the trip because we wanted them to get that experience. And a lot of these guys will get there, but they're still cooking. They're still in the oven. And I think we'd be a little early to take them out, but they're going to start popping and start playing this year for us, and he's certainly one of them.
Hey, Coach, right here. Any injury report update for today?
Yeah, Goodwin is upgraded to probable, and I think Anderson as well. Both of those guys are probable.
Hey, Coach, up here.
Yeah.
Do you have any concerns about some of the hits Jaden took on Sunday?
I think he needs to be a little bit more, smarter in the things that he does. We don't want him to be anybody else but Jaden. But I think he can be a little bit more prudent in some of the decisions he makes. But he's always run that way. So we're not going to change him too much. But trying to jump over the pile, I think we can tamp that down a little bit.
Coach, over here. How promising was Braden Swinson's performance on Sunday, and just how he's progressed moving forward?
I think it was what we were hoping for. He brought a lot of energy. I really liked his. There wasn't across the board, and this has been written about and talked about. I wasn't pleased with the energy, and that falls on me. But he brought a lot of energy. It's nice to see that, and certainly, his ability to rush the passer. So we hope to continue to build on that.
Hey, Coach, just a two-parter for you. Just what does it look like with Logan Diggs this weekend? Do you think he'll play? And then just with Mason, his first game back, you're not expecting him to play a full game, obviously, but just what do you want to see from him in those reps?
Logan Diggs has been getting quite a bit of work. He feels healthy, and I think a lot of the hesitation was that he wasn't full speed, and to put him in a game against, a top 5 opponent or top 10 opponent in Florida State, Frank just didn't feel comfortable in doing so. And I think the other part of the question was, yeah. Look, I mean, he's had a great week of practice, but I think, the reality of the situation is, average number of plays defended are in the mid-60s. It'd be great if we can get him in the, 30-play range in his first game and up that to, 40, 45 to where he can play a full game and maybe his second, third game. He'll tell you otherwise. He'll tell you that he can play every play, but, fatigue definitely sets in.
Brian, I know you've only been here 2 years, but this playing Grambling will mean that LSU has now played all the in-state Division I schools. Going forward, obviously, y'all have supported the 9-game schedule. Wow, do you, some coaches have said just play Power 5 schools or Power 4 or whatever we are now.
Yeah, right.
Some just FBS schools. Do you have a opinion or philosophy on
My
on that?
philosophy has been that I want to play as many SEC schools as we can play within the conference setup that everybody else plays, right? Obviously, I don't want to play more SEC schools if somebody else is not playing them. So, if I had a choice between 8 and 9, I wanted to play 9. And then, your schedule should reflect, the balance necessary to play a 9-game SEC schedule. You don't want to go out then play, the rest of the schedule murderer's row. So you then look to, can you play teams in the state of Louisiana? I think that should be your vision, right? Are there schools that you can play? And of course, the last 2 years, 2 HBCU schools makes awesome sense in terms of being able to do that with Southern and Grambling. So continue to look at that as an option. And I know Verge Osbury does the scheduling for us, and I think he looks in that respect as well.
Brian, is Lance Hurd kind of like Emory Jones in the fact that you kind of brought him along a little slowly? Are they kind of comparable in terms of talent? And
They're a little bit different in the sense that, Emory is a much more suited to probably play multiple positions when he moves on. A guy that could play center, guard. He could probably get you out of trouble playing tackle at the next level. Lance is a tackle with his length. So they're a little bit different, but I would say that they're very similar in terms of their demeanor, the way they approach things on a day-to-day basis. They're great workers. They're great in the classroom. They take their work very seriously. And so I think that there's a lot of traits that are similar that allow freshmen to compete for starting positions. And he's got that kind of makeup. But I think in terms of the physical traits that they bring, there is a little bit of a difference between the two.
Hey, Coach. I know you said that the team practices and prepares well for games, but do you think their mindset is better going into this week?
Yeah, I think we've reached a level of preparation that I'm much more comfortable with this week. The intensity level is what I was looking for, and we seem to have reached the level that I'm much more comfortable with. I've got to take full responsibility for not getting it there, and I feel good about where we are and where we need to continue to go. Because then you've got to go and take that from your preparation to performance. And so the next challenge will be finishing up here Friday, our walkthrough on Saturday, and then playing Saturday night and performing with an intensity and an emotional control that gives you that competitive edge that we lacked. And that's what we're looking for from this team. They know. I don't know what our guy said the other day. I hadn't talked to Mike about it, but I'm sure they probably talked in a similar vein because they've heard the same message. We've got to play with a competitive edge that we lacked, and I didn't do a good enough job of creating that. I've seen it this week from our guys.
Coach, there was an emphasis for Jaden to throw the ball down the field more. Outside of the last play of the third quarter to Brian, were guys getting open? Was there separation, or could he have thrown it deep more?
I think when we look at big plays, I think we had about 11 big plays in the passing game, and, they're 20 yards plus. That's going to get it done for you. So, we had a drop there. Certainly I'm sure there's some plays that we would have liked to see him, connect on. I think at the end of the day, we're calling the plays necessary for us to be explosive offensively. We have to execute at a higher level, both at quarterback, wide receiver, and from a protection standpoint.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned earlier about second year in a row playing against HBCUs, especially in-state. What kind of, in your eyes, what kind of historical and just significance does this game bring, just given kind of where these two schools have fallen in the college football landscape over just the past 100 years?
I think it speaks to the proud tradition of college football in the state of Louisiana. To have, a national championship team in LSU and another championship team at the FBS level in Grambling, and the great history of Grambling. For those two teams playing in the state of Louisiana, I think it says a lot about, the state of football in Louisiana. So, I mean, you can argue about all the different rivalries, in-state rivalries. To have all of that in the state of Louisiana, you feel a sense of pride when it comes to college football in the state of Louisiana.
Javian Toviano, a freshman we heard quite a lot about in the spring, just kind of where is he at right now in his development?
We like Javion. We're trying to bring him along at the nickel position, and I think it's a process, that we're involved in and trying to figure out. These are the tough decisions that you're trying to make. Is he somebody that can play more than 4 games at a high level for you and contribute where you don't redshirt him? Or is it he's going to get right to that threshold and maybe a couple of special teams performances? So we're not going to do anything until he's ready, and he's not quite ready yet, but we really like his upside. And when he's ready, we're going to play him. If there's, obviously 4 games less in the season, we're in good shape. The question will be if it's, like right now, we don't want to put him out there until he's absolutely ready to play. Good, thank you.